This is audio cutout from previous Revival, a Dungeon and Dragons roleplay podcast episodes that tie into episode 83, the final arc. Don't watch this without watching that one, or it's not really going to make much sense.
We've now entered, just so everybody knows, we're describing things in retrospect that we've set up. So anything that we describe about this place from here on out, as far as traps and whatnot, is all an act, remember?
Because rather than writing down explicitly, okay, this thing is going to be here, this thing is going to be here, which is going to be very hard to then, go, okay, roll for it now, and then if you roll super bad, how do I go, wink, oh, that thing doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you stuff to improv off of, and then say, yes, we had this planned.
Yes.
All right, so I have one question, though. Are we going to, I don't know, because the first thing I'm thinking of is okay, there's this generator thing. It's attracting, it's attracting all these fucking leeches everywhere. I don't know. Should we just kind of proof it? Because I'd hate for one of us to be thinking something completely opposite, and then they set up their stuff for whatever we do, and then it's oh, well, that's completely at odds with the other person was going for.
Okay, yeah, but that's improv. That's just how improv works.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
The other reason that I'm doing it like this is basically as an improv training session, right? Yes, there are going to be times where you have a cool idea and the other person is going to say something that makes it not work, but this is an explicit moment of, I want you guys to yes and. I want you guys to go, okay, they said this super cool thing, now I'm going to build off of that. Wherever somebody decides to point it in, you can redirect stuff, but, keep building off of each other's cool shit.
Yeah.
Rather than each of you trying to come up with stuff, this is why I didn't want you guys to plan super far ahead.
It will work better. It will explicitly work better without a plan.
Yeah. After all, no, we didn't plan any of this. This is all just kind of happening as we're going.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's cut back in.
Cut back in.
Okay, so
16.
So, upon the door slamming behind us, there's going to be a shining, what is it? It's a brazier that pops up on the floor in front of us.
Yep.
And you start seeing the outlet of a tablet. It's like wall art, kind of like hieroglyphics. And you see this really rough painting of a red serpent. And the red serpent is flying down from the top right corner. And it's the mixture of hail, fire, and blood following him. And you see little humanoid figures in the bottom left of this picture fleeing for their lives. And what we would only have to assume to be orcs and elves chasing them under the red serpent. And
okay, 1 second here. We might want to cut this. Are you sure that Jerron in character wants to go for this?
Way too on the nose.
Why would he want to go for this?
Because it's what
does he want to go for this?
It's what Michael would think the prophecy would be, right? Or
no. Hold on, we need to cut this, but this is too on the nose.
Okay. So should I just
Okay. Think about Here's conceptually speaking, how do prophecies work?
They're vague. Okay.
Yes. Why are they vague? Because the person interpreting them can fit the parts that they're oh, that's 100% it. And then they kind of ignore the parts that aren't 100% it. So also this is a skills thing, so you should be describing doing something before you just describe what it looks like. So I know where you're going with it, and it's a good idea, but
right. Also,
don't have it be a red dragon and orcs and elves, because number one, it would definitely not be orcs and elves.
I'll also have it be a snake and just be demons.
So also you might want to, just in terms of pacing, right? This is just general advice for pacing. It's typically better in terms of story progression, and this is just general, story.
That would be
stuff.
An ending scene.
Yeah, that's a good second to end or something like that, probably.
Okay.
Because if you're going for this thing,
yeah, if you're going for building a good story arc here, right? Because that's what you guys are trying to do in character. Is trying to make this very entertaining. So yeah, something
Let's split
like
up,
some
gang.
sort of exploration or something like that, probably. But you can do the whole thing, but you probably want to have
More doing
fewer
something.
fewer explicit details.
Okay.
And more stuff for other
Also,
people to build off of. That's the other thing.
Think of this in terms of framing too, because here's the thing: he said he's handing us creative control, right? But from the perspective of the people listening, they don't know that we know what's going on, right?
Okay.
So the things that what are they going to be expecting us to be pointing out in this place?
Right.
Not
That's the other thing.
details.
That's what set me off there is you were making something up like you knew was what the twist was.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
You shouldn't know what the twist is.
right. So imagine that you are
I don't
going
know
into
what
this
twist is.
completely blind, right?
All right.
Imagine that
Yeah,
you're
you're
going
not
into
gonna
this
be-
completely blind. You don't know that any
You're
of
going to
this
be
is fake.
describing you're going to be describing the traps, not the plot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like me and like actually halfway forget what the big twist was.
Right.
That's
Like
that's the
Okay.
plan.
I got
that's
something for this. I
actually
got something
kind
for
of the
this.
plan. Is just like imagine that you're just going into this and you have like I just went just like describe me a cool temple, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So
Like
And I'm really bad at this, so it'll be really fun.
So, but remember, you're describing the danger, not the plot.
okay.
yeah, I'll fill in basically the best way to do it so that the players don't so that the viewers don't catch on is
All right.
like I'll react to what you guys do and throw in some plot stuff, right?
Okay.
Okay.
See, that's what I was. That's what I thought this was
Hey.
gonna go. But yeah, we'll go ahead and
Dad.
redo Jerry's thingy.
All right.
Tad,
That's me.
when you cut this section and save it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was thinking. I'm just gonna cut this. I'm gonna make a big episode where it's just bop 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 bop, and then we'll put that out once we have the big old twist.
Hey, people listening in the future.
Also, this even
Gotcha.
works in
Gotcha,
universe because you guys
pregnant
probably did a couple of takes, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was like half of this is in characters. Jerry, no, you can't do that.
That's too on the nose. They're gonna figure it out. Like that.
Yeah. Literally,
Nice.
Jerry, it's too on the nose. They're going to figure it out.
Okay.
John
okay.
tried
Well,
like
that's good.
reciting lines at the start of it, like
Okay.
by the Lord, look at this door.
John became Hank Hill.
Selling it at all?
John starts selling me propane.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
Okay, so instead of the brazier lighting up a tablet, let's erase this here. Okay, take two.
You see a small tablet on the front of it.
Okay.
So
Oh, 1 second. 1 second.
yeah.
All right. Make a note here. What?
John gets to go first, but we can bill for that. Also, you might want to cut this now. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
this is a part where you describe what the thing is too.
I don't know what the thing is.
You have to cut this section. You have to cut this section because remember, plot has to come from you. He can't know what it looks like.
No, actually, this would have been fine. I could be like, oh man, what does John think? What is the artifact there, John? That one makes sense.
Does
Right.
it? Would he have heard from
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd be letting you guys come up with the first artifact, right?
Mhm.
Like, what would it be? 'Cause
I don't have a
John's
strong
the-
grasp on where we're going with the whole artifact. Like I get what we're doing,
Well, I mean,
Okay, so
but
yeah, you might want to cut this. So
Because it was the trumpet, right? That was the first thing.
no, so okay, yeah, we
Lazarus
probably should have
hinted
done
at
a
it.
little bit of a refresher. What Lazarus said is the trumpets are worthless without what accompanies them.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So basically, think of some sort of something that would match with the concept of the trumpet, right? Like
saxophone.
God damn it.
Harpsichord.
So like
the
basically
spoons.
like for this one maybe something that has something to do with temperature, right?
Let's
Why
see.
temperature?
Something that has
Wouldn't
something to do with weather, something that is associated with those, right?
I was thinking that this artifact would be something to do with the first trumpet sounding, which is what? Fire, hail,
fire,
and blood.
blood,
So
and burning a third of the trees on the planet and all green grass.
a burning bush.
It could be a some kind of burnt woodwind. I don't know.
I mean,
That would be that's
you
good.
could have a burnt cross.
That could also be good.
That could also
Burnt
create
cello.
a lot of shit posting.
What? No, it's a relic.
Oh,
dude.
burnt cross, not burning cross. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's like a charred and burnt cross. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
And you can play it
something
as a
like
fruit.
that, or you know, something to do with something that would be associated with these things, like maybe some sort of. And also, this would be a great opportunity if you had any super cool magic item that anybody wanted, that you could maybe, you know, work that into that, right?
I thought the relics are fake though.
Not necessarily.
But if we found a cool magic item,
Yeah.
It would make for easy. It would make for
Or
easy.
maybe we actually found a cool magic item and now we're reflavoring
This
it.
is being broadcast live, correct?
No.
no.
not this
we're
section
editing
right
all
now.
of this. Like, none of this airs live. It's impossible.
All right. So the first one, because I'm expecting at some point Michael or one of his minions is going to bust in and try and get to a relic before us. But I suppose the first one is setting up the fact that they're real.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, this should be something that does something, right?
Yeah, it should be something we could keep with us so that Michael will try and hunt us down for it.
Right. So, when you think of hail, fire, and blood, right?
A talisman of some kind.
Maybe. You know, something like that. Like,
I mean, if I just throw all those concepts together and pick a few things at random out of an imaginary box, I'm getting like a small lockbox made of ice with an eternal fire in it.
That's
That's
awesome.
kind of lame.
that's awesome.
That's really
That's
cool,
awesome.
actually.
That's
I
fucking
thought
rad.
that's kind of lame.
No, dude.
No, it's fucking rad.
What, you telling me that a
okay.
lockbox made of ice that doesn't melt with an internal flame in it? That's sick. That's actually
We go with
really
that then.
sick. Because it
Like I'm feeling nauseous. That's how sick it is.
that's got some like Pandora's box shit. That's awesome, dude. Go with
Sounds
that.
like John's got to start having a little more faith in himself.
God.
Sits backwards on his folding chair.
Okay. So, then, now that you know what it is, right? What do you think would be the last thing that you would need to do to get to it, right?
Cliche.
It's like, it works on every level that we need it to.
Well, yeah, it's just classic high adventure.
And like, when we end up saying, no, that was all a bunch of bullshit. It's like, that'll be so
Right?
sick.
Like, you guys just had blood packs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only
Yeah,
reason
like
it took a
Patton
healing surge is
has,
because you had to
like-
fill up the blood packs with blood.
Yeah. We just had a fistful of leeches, and I just stuck them in the needle. Just...
Do you think I
Right?
actually shoved a leech inside my chest? You serious?
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
Popped it right in there.
Dumb?
No,
What, did you actually think Patton was a Birdman? What are you, stupid?
It'll be funny because we'll reveal that this whole thing with the artifact is fake, but the leeches 100% real. Jesus Christ. We're not
Very scary.
we're not
Do not want-
Wait, so were the leeches fake? Oh God, no. The leeches,
Okay, I
those
think
were
John's
real.
on
Real
Jesus.
and full of teeth. Anyway, I think I found something.
Okay. So rather than actually casting spells by just venting excess mana, you can make spell-like effects.
Yeah, just burp.
Right.
Nice.
And so now that
Nice.
he's connected with Specky, he can do that.
But it's totally an ancient secret relic thing.
Yeah, it's solely an ancient secret relic thing, and not just a cool thing that Elias figured out while he was messing around with his rock cat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cut this section too and add it to the end. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be going ahead
Yeah,
and
this
going
is-
throughout this entire episode. I'm just gonna be cutting all the bits out, and I'm gonna have like I'll have like a big episode. Be like, hey, this is the proof. Like, you know, episode 25. Boop 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 boop. Episode 26. Boop 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 boop. You know, any times that it
Don't
comes
you
up.
guys feel dumb?
Yeah,
But yeah,
we
like,
gotcha.
so if you remember, I actually foreshadowed this.
Yes.
Do you remember, Michael?
Which one? Because I'm foreshadowing.
Specky.
Well, yeah, with Specky. Yeah.
On the boat with the flame,
Yeah.
Oh, you
yeah.
fuck, man.
Okay.
right? If you noticed, from Elias's studies, he realized that Specky has been able to manipulate forms of mana into crude forms of sorcery via sheer just venting of mana.
He's a muscle monk. He's a muscle monk mage.
Basically, in like the van on the way up, Elias was probably figuring some of this stuff out.
Well, I would imagine it'd be on the boat, really, when Specky sort of poofed up and then belched out all the fire.
Yeah, like everyone reacted to it, but we just cut it.
Right, yeah. Like when that happened, you took the shot, but then you cut out the bit where Elias went, huh, that's interesting. I wonder.
All right. So, I think now you'll have to tell me if flavor-wise this works, because I think it would work. In fact, hey, Rock, make a cut here, because I want to do something badass.
I don't know who this Rock fellow is.
Oh yeah, Tad, make a cut.
Also,
here.
Michael, just so you know, we should decide now. You figured out your slight elemental manipulation stuff from Specky, and you can flavor it as much as it's Specky as you want. Like, you could either have it be you actually manipulating your own thing, or you just being like, hey, yo, Specky, pass me some of that stuff.
What I want to do is I want to continue the play here, but still have it be useful for fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Because
what are you trying to do?
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Michael a real fucking run for his money in terms of like selling this hard. Because I'm going to look at John. I'm going to have the tendrils that I have underneath my coat start putting off some This is, the out of the sleight of hand explanation.
Wait, what tendrils?
Yeah, the secret
Speckies.
one that'll go in the secret show.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, yeah. What I want to do is I want to have Specky's tendrils.
Specky bioluminescence a little bit?
I'm going to have Specky bioluminescence all around me. So I start glowing, and then I'm going to walk up, and I'm going to put my hand onto the leech, just reach out and do, whatever one of my attacks is. But I'm going to use
and you're
Gift
gonna
of
activate
Fire.
that fire boon thing? Okay.
I'm going to activate Gift of Fire, but I'm also going to unwittingly quote scripture.
Oh, unwittingly.
Yeah. Unwittingly.
Casually.
Wink.
John holds out a
with this
notepad.
very clearly being something that, like, John probably told you to say at some point.
Yeah.
To sell it.
No, I mean, this is something that we would have thought of. We need to really sell that now I'm like a holy vessel of some kind. So there would be no way for me to like, know scripture other than, John telling it to me. It's not the most convincing thing, but quoting scripture and having fire erupt from my hands is,
It's pretty convincing.
Yeah.
It's more convincing.
Alrighty.
Glow. Okay.
Yeah,
Elias
I like it.
starts to glow and emits a blast of fire after quoting a scripture about fire. Michael's going to be like, "Hey, wait a minute. He's not supposed to be able to do that."
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of what, So in terms of what I want to do, that's what I want to do. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Then cut back in.
What about our little device? Our little device that we need to trap this guy in? I don't think we're going to get lucky and find a whole bunch of Dr. Robos on the way. So maybe we just need to get people to help us find them while we're trying to get to where we need to go.
Anything that's specialized that we're looking for specifically is going to be so incredibly obvious that we're going to be the ones who want to go there first anyway. No one's going to stumble across mana crystals.
There's the items that we're looking for aren't going to be, well, I guess maybe they will be common. I kind of doubt it, but I don't want
If they're common, we'll find more of them, and if they're extremely rare, we'll be the first ones to find them. I mean, all we have to do is state the rules. If we want to mitigate risk, then we can just simply go into any new area first ourselves, and then allow our retainers to go in afterwards. Since we can state that we're not here on a treasure hunt, we're just looking for items of particular interest, then we go in first, and they can take what's left.
That sounds like a good plan.
This is why I wanted to put Elias in charge of the plan making.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
Excuse me, one quick question.
What's up, Zep?
So it's a bit of a strain on me personally, specifically. Personally, to be doing all of the fancy editing that you guys need to make your what would we call it? Complete fabrication of the truth appear real.
You want me to give you an editor, Zep?
No, that's not what I'm saying. You don't. I'm perfectly capable of doing it myself. You see what the good job that I'm doing? It's a fantastic job.
Yeah, 5 stars.
And believe
What I
me,
am
Zep, I
saying-
understand how rough editing could be.
What I'm saying is, I'd like to know how many more of these crazy nonsense buildings you want me to build in post.
Like, you mean how many more artifacts are we going after?
Yeah, I got no clue.
I think so we got the specky thing. So that's one. Michael got the sword. Has anyone still figured that part out yet? I mean, that's 2. And he said there were 7 trumpets. Like,
Well, he could be lying, or he could be projecting.
Yeah, that's actually another question that I had. Are we playing along with that being one of them? Because if I'm gonna build a narrative here, I gotta know so I can add in little hints and details, so that people don't raise questions, so they don't see the mic boom hanging out of this shot.
so which one was that then?
Which one?
The sword. I'm looking for it here.
That's a good question. Basically, what Zep and the DM are asking is, how are you building this narrative? Right? Are you building it as you get each one as you go, or is it a this is the 5th one and do you find them in order? Do you find them out of order?
I assume we find them in order.
These are artifacts that are linked to the trumpets, not the trumpets themselves.
Yeah, the trumpets themselves are a metaphor.
It would make it'd be more believable if we didn't find them in order.
It would be absolutely more believable if we did not find them in order.
For the narrative that he's building for the viewers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he putting in hints that it's the 3rd trumpet over here, like the 3rd artifact that you're seeing over here, or is it we're going to find them along the way with the one that we know about, being in the Redwood Park, right?
Mm-hmm. Because if Michael surprises us with, "Hey guys, I found another one," like, fuck shit.
Yeah, is it he's going to end up ruining your narrative by not being in on it?
So we need to just stumble upon them on our way. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and then that would be something that you would need to go like, oh yes, we feel a like John glows or something like that. Then stuff that he can add in post retroactively to add in these hints, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, like let's say that you go somewhere and you find, let's say, something that you can use as a the stasis crystal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You find that somewhere. If you were going with the thing that we find in the Redwood is the 3rd one, and we can't find any before that, then you just basically have to leave that for later, right?
Right.
If you're going for an in-order thing. If you're not going for an in-order thing, then Zep could, in post, take footage from like the day before and put like a glow aura around John and add in fake hints and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's a lot, Zep, I think it's a lot better if we just have it happen as we're going. It's a lot more believable for the viewers, because like if we find them in order, it's like, oh, this is just a little storybook ending, and we're right. Real, finger quotes, real. So
right. Okay, so be ready to put stuff in post if I need to give the viewers little hints.
Right.
To build the continuity, you got to make a story.
Yeah, like turn some lights on around John, give him like a little yellow aura thing. It'll look good. It always does.
I've always wanted to glow. Either as we're coming out of like the forest, or right as we're getting to we cross the Arkansas out of Fort Smith. In the distance, we see a tear in something that
you have the first thing you have. Fucking John go like, I've got a bad feeling about this. I don't think we're done. Like, I don't think we're out of the portal or something like that, right?
As we leave the woods, I don't think we're out of the woods yet, boys. And then over
Yeah, I can work with that actually. I can work with that.
Got a bad feel about
because
this.
there's a bunch of islands and shit where the river gets wider. I was looking specifically at like Cattail Islands or somewhere around there.
Yeah, so the way Cattail Islands in the like Sequoia National Wildlife Refuge and all that.
Yeah, we could like see Wormwood Falls somewhere up there and go there.
Yeah. Okay, so I can work with this. So here's my idea if you guys are cool with it, right? Which would be, as you're leaving the forest, right? John and you guys, you start to get like that whole double vision thing going, right? Which would literally just be you guys editing over stock, like putting stock footage on top of each other. As the imagery of the forest continues, right? Like you're moving through, but you know, there's another scene playing off in the background, which is you guys just walking through the forest still. You know, and as each of you talk, it's like doubled over on each other. Right? And then as you're driving across, you see like some great light off in the distance, which would be over the Arkansas River. And then you're rushing towards there. And then once you get closer to the portal, that like the portal imagery takes over. Right? And then you wouldn't even do the scene over the Arkansas River. You would do the scene back in the forest. You would just fake the moon landing. Right?
Yeah, so like we get to the Arkansas River and suddenly we're snapped back to the forest.
Yeah, and then it just goes back to the scene that you do in the forest. And then when you go over the Arkansas River for real, you just do some editing to have like the river be bubbling and all of that, right?
But that means we got to build the set and everything for what's going to happen there here now.
Or you could do it in the opposite way, which would be, you know, you do the scene at the Arkansas River and then you film the after scene here, right? Oh, now we can leave, right? Like you either do the narrative is that you were like that you get snapped back to the forest after you do the whole Wormwood thing because you were still in the portal and time dilation and blah blah blah, right? Or it was you were at the Arkansas River but you got drawn back to the forest by the portal. Basically, it depends on where you want to say that you actually are.
Well, if we get drawn back to that forest, I feel like that kind of sets a precedent of, oh, this specific forest must be super duper important.
Yeah, so we should do it at the Arkansas River. It's better.
Yeah, like if we get snapped back to reality, whoops, there goes gravity back to the forest.
And then you would do like the scene where you're driving back and it's like, whoa, it's like deja vu. It's like we've already been here.
Then Pat flips the truck and goes, whoa.
I like that. If it's like, you know, you're driving back through Fort Smith and you guys are like, oh, we already saw this, you know, the portal dilation, you know, like the end times, right?
So forest portals connected to this other one at the river. Things get kind of weird time-wise.
Yeah, you start to see, like, images of the forest overlaid across each other. Like, you can see yourselves fighting the displacer beasts, right? Like, running between buildings and shit like that. Which, of course, is all just fucking Sci-Fi Channel editing.
So we'll be going... from where we are now, we'll be leaving, heading out to the Arkansas River. We'll be faking... this portal having a connection to another portal by the Arkansas River. We'll be having these weird kind of like time weirdness as we're going there where we're seeing shit that we already saw before. We get there and then probably a skills challenge or whatever Dan wants to do for when we get to the river with that portal there.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually exist, but we made up.
Yeah, it's just,
that seems like a pretty good plan.
It's the third artifact, so whichever artifact we want to place there.
Mm-hmm.
Something about a meteor, so something real cool, something like
something that we need to get for, you know, the final thing.
Right. Well, the thing is the entire point of these is misdirection for you building your doomsday machine thing, right? Like the stated goal is assemble these artifacts to be able to defeat Michael, right? When really you're just cheesing the whole fight. So, in this case, what I'm going to do with these temple things is use them as an excuse to give you guys magic items, right? Yeah. Things that you either found or made in some way, but you're making an excuse to make them more important, right? Like Elias getting his fire hand shit. Really, that was just him, figuring out how to do stuff.
That was the first one there. That was a John level. John got the one at the end there. I want this one to be a Patton level because it's all about like spreading disease and weird shit into the water and embittering it.
I could see that.
Essentially, something falls into the earth and it starts poisoning everything.
Yeah,
that's very Patton-esque. I don't know what the special item will be. I don't know. Yeah. Unless you want me to choose a magic item that I want beforehand.
I mean, are there any magic items that you want?
I'd have to look.
Oh, wait, this is out of character, but I would know this. I just have to remember. Tad, what the fuck was that thing that we were having a really hard time finding? Remember, for all the stuff that we're building, you got to cut this.
I was about to say, yeah. There's the magical crystal. That's the one that's like very, very hard to find. That would be something that's either at like the Mage Institute or Red might have one in his hoard.
Right. So that's something we're gonna.
Wait, what were you trying to? What was it again?
Hold on, I have it in my notes here. Let me grab it.
Remember for building like the final thing to fuck up Michael.
Mm-hmm. What were you looking for?
Which item? There's the magic crystal, the robotics parts, the stasis manipulator was the other one. Stasis manipulator and the magical crystal. Those are the two big ones.
Stasis manipulator we can get in Colorado. Magical crystal is something we might want to have covertly sent to us and then find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was actually setting up for this the entire time.
Oh.
Look at this dude.
Daniel, what did you expect me to do? Not exactly what you were planning?
Yeah. No, this is actually set up. This was an eventuality to give you something cool, which is, remember how the error thing said that you needed to isolate Jerron in time?
Yeah.
Jerron is the stasis manipulator.
Oh. Neat. I'll put that in my notes. Right. Stasis manipulator. Jerron.
Better make sure I don't die.
Yeah. So as far as you guys getting the items and everything, yeah, this can very easily happen off screen once you start running tests on Jerron, right? And we'll talk about it in the actual podcast. But currently speaking, Jerron's position in time is all sorts of fucked.
Yeah.
Right? Jerron is basically being held in place by a weird fourth dimensional lock. Basically via his warlock pact.
Jerry's stone cold fourth dimensional lock of the week. Of the century.
But remember, cut this. You gotta remember
pretty
to cut
much.
This up.
Boy, how do you hope we remember?
Yeah. Zep, can you cut the tape real quick?
Oh, this is going into the extra thing?
Yeah, yes. This is going into the extras.
Yes. So, Lazarus, this thing's not supposed to be real, We didn't put that sword there. I asked them. They said none of them did it. I didn't do it.
Very specific. There was only one artifact there. I don't think Michael's very good at listening.
I think you might be right. But this actually ain't no laughing matter. Well, if he's stylizing himself in that way, that's a bit of a problem now. I'm sure, John, you know what this means in that way, right?
I'm sure I know all about what that means.
That's a sort of an archangel right there, then.
Yeah, I knew that.
That ain't supposed to be there. That ain't supposed to even be a thing.
I find this sort of whole situation rather concerning. I'm not really well versed in this sort of whatever deity you have working here, but how is he? Is he corporeal? Can we go talk to him? I don't know of any records of him walking around on the rock, but
Michael? Well, the Archangel.
You just...
Well, no. What is your deity's name? Can
Got
we
a
go
lot
talk
of
to them?
names.
Well, yes, but most common name. God.
God.
Yes, but that is common for deity. But there's names for deities. They have power and meaning. Generally speaking, summoning mana, this sort of thing. I realize this is sort of unprecedented on the rock.
Now, if you're looking to bring him on down, that's what we're waiting for. You ain't gonna get that.
Well, yeah, could you talk to him or something? It seems that he's not exactly helping us out here.
Well, it might be.
I'm sure it'll all work out in the end. He works in mysterious ways after all.
Yes, well, I would like it to work out where I don't get impaled by a flaming sword.
Not get impaled by a regular sword, though. I really think you're trying to solve the wrong problems.
Hold on. John, can I see that book?
No.
No.
Just going to flip and point to the page. I've been reading Revelation, you know.
Is he just touching John's book? Is he
Just snatched it out of his hands?
He might have.
No, there's... If he really wants one, Lazarus would just hand him one.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I'll just take one from Lazarus.
Wait. Before you say you've been reading Revelations, you might want to cut this even from this cut section. But before you go and say where did you get a Bible to be reading from Revelation?
John was lending it to him, but then he realized that was a bad idea. I feel like that works well enough.
All right, are you about to pull some theological bullshit out of your ass here, Matt?
I mean,
no.
Like, okay, so
that's par for Jerry's course.
the thing is that how would you know which book to be looking at? How would you you're just gonna read the whole damn thing?
Yeah,
No,
there's
well-
nothing. You wouldn't know anything about Revelation being about the end times, just so you know.
Well, wouldn't I have been working with John to create that first little dungeon we did? I wouldn't have just come up with blood, hail, and fire, and John would be like, "No, it's from here. It's from right here." You know?
Oh yeah, that
That's
makes
reasonable.
sense.
Yeah, you're right.
I
That's
literally
reasonable.
never shut up about it, I'm sure. It's John's Homestuck. Please, shoot me.
Holy shit!
I think that might be the most. I think that might be the most offensive thing anybody has said on this podcast.
All right. So, but I pull up Book of Revelation. Let me just click this. I'm going to open it, and I go to 12:7, and I read. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels going forth to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and his angels. And the great dragon was cast down. I skip one. And the great dragon was cast down, the old serpent, he that is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was cast down to the earth, and his angels were cast down with him.
Yep,
What
sounds
does
like you're
mean?
taking it seriously. And he thinks that, well, he's actually, what's written there, Archangel. But see, there's a bit of a problem with that whole thing is that ain't supposed to be happening yet. That ain't supposed to be happening yet.
But you said something really important there, Lazarus. He thinks it. Could he have just
Yep.
had his faith in it really strongly and then created the sword? Because it's just materializing out of nowhere and having the power. Not really something we accounted for here. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, there's that's one possibility, honestly, I gotta be thinking about. And the other possibility that I gotta be thinking about is, well, things are kind of lining up like you said they would. It's not.
Well, on that front, Lazarus, I wouldn't exactly put too much I'm hesitant to use the word faith here, but it seems appropriate. I wouldn't put too much faith in that concept, just because, well, let me put this delicately. Michael is an elf, and you are an orc. Physiologically speaking, he sort of has more access to and more dependence on mana. It's not completely unreasonable to assume that he's simply crafted this magical item himself and is attempting to dishearten us and discredit us. It could be an act of fear and desperation.
You know what? You're right.
What?
You're right. I was getting ahead of myself. Thank you. Appreciate that.
It seems more likely that he's attempting to do everything within his power, truth or not, to dissuade us from what he believes is a quest.
Now that I think about it, that do seem like him, though. Was always sort of boy to get upset when people had things he didn't.
It does seem rather convenient of him to find his own artifact after we found our own artifact.
And especially
Sort
when
of,
his artifact is visually more impressive than ours. It's a pretty cool looking sword.
You know, I kind of liked ours better.
But why wasn't he searching for the artifacts previously? Because if it's in the book, then he should have known that it exists. So if he...
from what I understand from John, there really isn't any precedent in the book or a related apocrypha for artifacts.
Especially them being over here. I think we're making all this
yes.
up still.
I am so confused by this because this has never happened with me and my magic. Like, I didn't do that, but it was my thing that I was supposed to
this
set
happens
up.
to everybody. It's not just me. Sometimes magic just doesn't work. I was in the pool.
I want to assume that Michael simply made the sword himself because the alternative is something that I'm a little more worried about. If he's doing something crazy like this where he's creating just through his own belief, let's put that on the back burner. I'm going to assume the simplest answer, which is just Michael trying to bluff us, trying to either dishearten us or cause us to act more, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Hastily?
Erratic.
Would I be able to tell if Michael believed it or not based on the mana I would be getting?
Hell no.
What?
Damn it.
Okay, let's take an aside from this. For the people listening to this,
Let's break it down.
There's absolutely you're asking
Yeah.
if you can tell if someone believes something.
Yeah, no,
Well-
that's a bit busted. What's your insight score?
Not high. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
No, but the implications of attempting to find out if someone honestly believes something,
Ooh,
like
yeah, that's a
through
universe
magic, are
breaker.
like that's like a universe breaker. That's
It is kind of game breaking.
No, it's a universe breaker. Like literally breaking causality.
That's a complete computer, because then all you have to do is have somebody make a statement like P equals NP and then cast truth on it, and then you figure out the secrets of the universe in an afternoon.
That does make sense.
That kind of breaks shit pretty hard.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just for anybody listening, I think I'm confident in saying that this universe does not have the ability to cast an abstract "is this true" spell.
all right,
Yeah,
so
no.
I'm just gonna follow Patton's assumption then that he's trying to bluff us.
You know, one way or another, guys,
Patton's assumption.
God's will will be done.
Patton's assumption. That was Elias's logic. Patton just agreed with me.
So is Patton's logic.
I'm upset. I'm angry.
I think in the end we're all right.
It really shouldn't affect the overall plan. I mean, there's a limit to how many powerful magical artifacts an elf can produce.
It definitely took a lot of preparation to make something like that.
It doesn't seem inconsistent with his power set as we have previously experienced.
That is true. That is true.
I got one last question for y'all now. How you doing that thing with your hands there, Elias?
Oh, this sort of flame thing.
Yeah.
The Specky's on my shoulder at this point, so you can see that it's. I'll just turn around and you can see that
Ain't that just craziest thing I ever seen?
Yeah, ties into the wrist. Yeah, the Specky has many useful little features here. Absorbing mana, dispelling mana. It's become quite clever with mana manipulation.
You should have seen him out there. He was quoting the Bible and everything.
So I have to thank John for those passes.
I really think it's coming around.
Well, I reckon that looks incredibly dangerous and fairly reckless. But I'm no doctor, and you are, so I'll defer to your judgment. If you think you're okay with doing that, well, I wouldn't let that thing do what it's doing to you, but...
Oh, Specky is no danger at all. It's quite friendly, actually. Specky, shake.
Reaches out paw.
Yeah, like a long tendril with a stone paw attached to it.
If you ask me, them two get along a little too well.
Meow.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
All right. Do we want to cut back into to the Master Ruse cruise that we're putting the viewers on?
Now, if I may ask, did y'all have something you wanted me to say about that a little ladder thing that Elias is doing with his hands there?
Whatever can segue to a reasonable excuse for us to leave somewhere closer by to get some of these parts that we still need.
What's the next part that y'all fixing to get there? Where'd you think it'd be?
Well, we sort of have a secondary goal here secondary or primary, depends on who you ask, but we're looking to move more towards Colorado. There's a facility there that we need to investigate for a friend of ours. As far as explanations for the flame goes, I'm not really well versed in scripture or whatever you call it, but I'm sure you can find some sort of... John had me quote some things about flames. Seems consistent. As far as the sword goes, I think you mentioned something about archangels, but you might want to play down that particular aspect to the viewers. We don't want to encourage, I suppose, the wrong idea.
Well, you see, that's a little bit of a predicament now, because looking from my perspective, then, if you say one of the artifacts is fake, then don't you think that'll make some of them yours seem fake?
Well, not necessarily fake, but...
you just means don't tell everyone it's a super powerful sword.
Well, not necessarily don't tell them it's super powerful. I suppose telling them it is powerful is somewhat to our advantage, since it lends credence to the sort of tale that we're weaving here. But generally speaking, a lot of creation, not necessarily myths, but I don't really know how this sort of plane of existence came into being to begin with, but generally there's a sort of good versus evil sort of thing going on. Would it be possible to style Michael as... it might make him angry, but it's not exactly bad for us, but make him... set him up as the bad guy.
Oh, Granddad Lazarus. I'll go get my shades. You gotta say, Battle for the Rock has begun.
Now, John, Johnny, you been watching those movies again?
Oh, such a good line, Granddad Lazarus.
You've been watching the movies again. I told y'all, they ain't real.
The irony of that line.
Right?
Yeah, but the sure is cool.
Anyhow, no, I can't. Look, if you're gonna make him out, if you're gonna make Michael out as a villain, that it ain't work. That there ain't no way. So you could say he's misguided. You could say he's doing things the wrong way, but I can't style him as the adversary. Nothing.
I'm gonna look back at the book. I'm kind of like look at everybody, and I'm just gonna say, well, looks to me like the book says the serpent's the villain, the dragon's the villain.
Right. Except, look, let me explain this to you. What that book is talking about ain't talking about Red, right? He ain't the dragon, the serpent, devil that they talking about, right? Michael thinks it is, though.
Red does seem rather benign for some sort of force of ultimate evil.
And begin with, he ain't. It don't follow what you always say, Doctor. It don't follow logically, right?
Yes, it is as you say, Lazarus. He's not exactly nascent to this plane of existence, so it doesn't really follow that he could be some sort of ultimate evil if he didn't even come from this place to begin with.
Right, and I'm sure Michael's got some form of explanation lined up for the holes in what it says. You know how it is. You got your mind dead set on something, you'll find any way to make it work.
Of course, it's a regular cognitive bias.
Right. I think. So where are y'all fixing to go then? Because I ain't heard where y'all fixing to go.
Colorado is the
Colorado.
End goal.
Colorado.
End goal of Colorado.
End goal. Where are you going now?
Well, we should at least scout the area, I believe. We can't just leave it untouched while we do all these other things.
But
so, Colorado and the outlying area, perhaps some sort of, I don't know, a pattern, something of that, a pattern that logically leads one to the final area.
Yeah, so Tad, you have the list of all of the items and things that you need,
the items
right?
that we need. I believe we got some of the robotics parts from.
Yes, you did get the automation system. You need some form of stasis, right?
We need the magic crystal. We need the super super dense magic crystal.
Yep.
We need a few more robotics parts. We need some very high quality wiring, and then an outer casing, which we'll find something that works pretty well as an outer casing. I'm sure of that.
Yeah,
we need the stasis manipulator.
Yep.
And hazmats. We need some kind of hazmat protection to keep our mana in.
Well, the hazmat suits are going to be the last thing that we get at the lab, like
for sure. Yeah, I mean that's the only place I can even imagine that we'd find something similar to that.
So out of all of these, what do you think you guys are going to go for next?
I believe the highly focused magic crystal. Because there's two places that those could be from. There's way back in New York at the college, or
actually anybody who wants to can give me a history check.
I'll
give you a history check.
In total, I got a 22.
I got an 18.
Anybody can roll history.
I rolled a 1.
1? Okay.
I rolled a, let's see here. I rolled a 21.
21? Okay. So, on that, since you guys got those two successes, right? You've got two options. You've got, like, what Jerron would know is, because he's really fun, he knows a lot about New York, the college has got tons of weird magical artifacts from way back, right? They might have something like that. But what Tad knows, what Patton would know from your time out on the road and, those sort of things, like going to small communities and talking to people and learning shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Is there's one other strong option, which is who normally has these sort of really strong magical crystals and shit, right? Usually like heirloom things from elves, right? So there's a bunch of high elves off in New York, and then there's a bunch of woodsy type elves way the fuck off in California and Oregon in the redwood forests.
And that stuff's going to be the stuff way out west is also as a tertiary goal. The stuff out west is going to be way, way less picked over.
Right. So if you wanted to like get the hardest thing out of the way first in terms of like supplies and stuff, then going way out west to do that would be a good idea. If you wanted to go to New York and try and get the crystal from those guys, you might have to do some more stuff over there. It really depends on what you want to do. It depends on if you want to deal with more natural hazards or more societal hazards.
Yeah, I feel like going out west, the challenge would be getting there, but then going back east, the challenge would actually be getting the crystal once we get there.
There's two birds with one stone possibility by going out west, which is there's so many more options to find naturalistic shit that looks cool and works as places to set up future artifacts.
Right. You can knock a couple of artifacts out of the way too, and you might be able, and things are less picked over, so you might be able to find more of those materials that you need to
Silicon Valley's out there. I mean,
like you might be able to find those mana repellent materials that you need, right? Because that's another thing that you need, and you still need the whatever magical artifact is capable of like freezing time in a local area, right?
Yeah, the stasis.
Some way to manipulate stasis, right?
Right.
Which is like a pure elemental thing, which again elves might know about.
But I want an excuse to go to the deep south so bad. I'm trying to think of a reasonable
we can probably. I mean, the game doesn't end when we do all this.
Boy, howdy! It might be you might need to go to the south to get one of the things. It might be like I've already got that planned or some shit.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I know that we're going to get there. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I can get down there.
Do to make us get there faster?
The west?
I mean, okay.
Definitely.
As far as another thing is, as far as in-character justifications go, Elias is 100% gung-ho for going out west.
Yeah.
If anybody mentions going out west, Elias will be there at the drop of the hat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me not want to go out west is out of character, because fuck, I want to go in the southeast. But Patton would want to go west too.
Well, I guess we made up our minds then.
And don't forget, part of the agreement is I need to film Elias's like nature documentary and going out west.
I've sort of not been keeping up with that. I mean, Elias doesn't really give a shit.
Anyway, so yeah, west.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna need to either you guys need to think of one, or you could ask Lazarus maybe for a excuse to go out west, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like some sort of lead.
It could be as simple as just there's some artifact that generally south and west. Well, he only really knew of the one out there.
Yeah, he could just not know about the other ones, and then we could just say, "Well, we know."
No. If anybody knows, we've already put up Lazarus as the sage old man giving us.
He's the quest giver.
He has to know.
So yeah, just vague recollections of there's things south to the west here. What they used to call Texas.
How about tales of some tangent religion being built around some object?
Oh, you really want to go to the Mormons, dude?
I just meant like they found a holy artifact and like, oh, cool, we can make a religion out of this.
This is still being recorded, correct? We're not going to cut this. All right, I don't know if you guys have seen, but the Mormon Tabernacle looks... Okay, so here's the thing. If you didn't know about Mormons...
Boy, howdy, look at the, look at this. Look at the... Hey, by the second trumpet sounding, it cues something like a great burning mountain that plunges into the sea and wipes out a third of all sea life and ships. A third of the oceans will become blood.
Yeah, so that's...
It cues something like...
That might be the fucking coast.
Yep, that sounds like it.
Yeah, but you just gotta find I just need to find the actual. Here's the King James version, right? Boom. And the second angel sounded, as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, right? So, boy howdy, that might sound like y'all need to go over those mountains to the west to the sea.
Yeah, Lake Tahoe's nowhere near the coast, dude.
And look Do you know where the Redwood National Forest, the Redwood National Parks are? Like where the Redwood Forests are?
Yes.
The giant redwood trees are really close to the coast.
Yeah, it's like Tillamook State Forest.
You might say
Like they're right
close.
on the coast in Northern California.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
NorCal's got the hype.
Ooh, there's a place called Three Rocks.
It's more than 2 rocks.
But less
Given I'm
than
just saying
4.
Three Rocks is like a, hold on.
Okay, let's cut back into D&D.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Lazarus has got something for you guys.
All right, we're
Okay.
gonna cut in now then.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut back into, hey, thanks for listening to this secret part. We fooled you.
Haha.
Got you, dumbass.
guys.
You're so fucking dumb.
Watch me swoosh right back into television.
So, Big Wyvern,
Yes,
we're going to its roosting place.
correct.
It's sustained here. It almost kind of seems sort of mythical, right? John, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I mean, you said cut the tape, so there's only really one direction this can go.
Okay, so here's the bit with this. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came
Well,
out of the
boy,
smoke
howdy.
locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, nor any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shape of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were, as it were, crowns of gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as teeth of lions, and a lot of weird shit happens.
So, like some chimeras.
And they had
shit.
a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Okay.
Rad.
So, this fits entirely for what we're doing.
Correct.
Yes.
And we can even set up some magical seals so that we can walk out of the cave after we've slain the wyvern, or basically slain Abaddon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We can walk out of the cave with magical seals so that none of the fire, none of the smoke hurts us. And you can use Jerry's like illusion stuff, and John can help to turn the smoke into locusts.
Yep.
And also probably give the wyvern a scorpion tail in post.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After I take its real tail, because you got to get the tail off for bonus carves.
Yes.
All right, so would this be something that John then brings up once we're rolling again?
Maybe you want to be closer,
it'll be
or-
something you'll know when it happens. I'll weave it in organically.
Okay.
Just be ready to improv off of it.
All
Right?
right.
I'll just give the details that the thing has a weird scorpion tail.
Gotcha.
All right, so give me a Bogdanoff here.
Basically, the fifth trumpet has to do with locusts, and it's the first of the woes. So they're gonna do the whole thing being like the wyvern is actually a demon, and it's gonna have like a scorpion tail, and wherever it's roosting is going to be the fiery bottomless pit from which locusts spawn, right?
Sick.
To rain
Literally.
down terror upon the earth. And however, and this works really well because it's, again, this is all being recorded, so this is pretty sick. It works really well because it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth neither any green thing, meaning it's all CGI, so they're not actually going to destroy the field.
Right.
Ah, sick.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we can walk out of the quote unquote pit with seals on our foreheads.
Well, yeah, you
From
can
John.
have John when you get up to, assuming it actually has a cave or a burrow or something. John can make the little seals on your forehead.
If its roost isn't a cave, we'll make a cave.
Yeah, you'll make a fake cave. It shouldn't be too hard. So, in terms of while I've got you guys here, in terms of things that you still need to make your fake arc,
Yeah.
You really all you need still is mana repellent material, like hardcore mana repellent material that you can actually shape and form into a bubble, like an actual manatite seal.
Like a fucking wyvern skin.
That might work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then you also need the highly powerful magical crystal.
Like those crystals that fucking Patton just broke one of them.
That is not one of them.
I was
That
about
is
to
not
say
even
those are
close.
basically those are patent crystals. I can do whatever I want with those. Those are mine.
But what I'm saying is maybe you could fucking grow them or culture them or something.
Yeah, no.
I got 2 more to test and see if I can do anything.
magic
with that.
crystal.
That shit is bullshit quartz, and you need a perfect diamond.
They're basically the same thing.
Look, all we have to do is hope we get a gem drop from this wyvern.
We can wipe. So we just need to wipe and then jump back in. But remember, just I'll give you guys the shit. But remember, we can just do this, organically. Also, it'll be pretty obvious the stuff that is actually under your control and the stuff that isn't. I.e., anything that has to do with actually taking down this wyvern, you're actually going to need to fucking do.
Yes, obviously. It's still a real wyvern.
This is a very real wyvern.
Okay, now let's hurry up because I have a really cool name for the tracking device.
Why don't you describe to John what the room that you go into looks like?
Well, okay, now out of character, because remember, I wasn't here during the discussion of when we were setting this one up. Was there a specific goal that we had in mind for what we were trying to find in here, or is this just anything
Okay,
goes?
so
Dude, I think things have gone south.
no, they haven't. So yeah, you're gonna reminder for a cut here, like at 30 minutes. Yeah. So this is the first of the woes in terms of the mythology of the trumpets and everything. This is the first one where shit goes bad, right? So in order to really sell it, this is the grueling bad one. And especially since it's supposed to happen for 5 months.
Oh,
Right? The line is, there came up out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power, and it was commanded that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man. Basically, this is you guys getting torn down, right? It's your own personal hells.
But we're hard cutting here, but how much of this is our production? How much of this is abandoned fucking with us?
100% your production.
Oh, okay. Because I was just wondering, because sometimes Michael comes in and starts fucking up our shit.
Right. Don't worry. If and when that happens, I will tell you.
Alright, that's fine then. Okay, then I can do a lot more cool
Assume
shit.
that you are in control until I say that you aren't.
Alright.
That's what I said that the last time, but it's been a bit. Yeah, you guys are in control here.
okay. I'm quickly reading over that revelation to see if there's something I should pick out here that I could use really well. Other than
This
just
was
coming up with some
this
random
is
shit.
thematically speaking, the thing with Patton is the turning point where you guys start describing stuff more. This was all set up.
Remember though that scene details that involve OOC knowledge of revelations and shit should all come from the GM, because
Right. Just throw me stuff to fill in, right?
Yeah, describe like the shape of the room, not necessarily like you don't want to be like, there's
shape, contents, and like something that would be torturous or bad for Patton, right?
Hold on a second though, because isn't that too leading? Because why would, from the listener's perspective, why would Patton be describing his own torture? Shouldn't you be the one describing the torture?
Basically, I'm going to give it an in-character justification, which is,
right.
Of course, this is the bit where Patton's like gear is fucking with him.
Yeah, you should definitely start it with like, describe with you.
Yeah, like
teeing him up, like describe your, not what's in the room, but like describe your own Patton's own personal hell.
Yeah. So
just so it's clarified.
Okay, so we'll cut back in. So as you go back into this room, and this is another cut point because this is relating to things. He's just going to look at you. Artifacts, huh? Nice production. Real good play you put on there.
Thank you.
Thanks. I put a lot of work into it, but really, Zepp is the one that really works the cameras.
I'm gonna commune with nature with Mavala Jr. and try and set up some kind of temporal field here to displace or beast effect so that this guy can't do whatever the fuck he's doing.
He's just going to put up his hand and just dispel that pretty much instantly. Michael will be wanting to hear about this. So he's just going to look at you guys. Huh, clever. Ground up wyvern parts, mana absorption. Some sort of big trap, right? I've got some chemistry experience myself. You can do some nasty things with that. Some real nasty stuff. There's nothing, is there?
You gotta stop doing this worm shit, because I can't not reference worm here. This is like, it's so out of character, but like enact stranger protocols.
Right?
This is screaming to me like, oh no, Elias can't do anything here.
John, Michael talked really highly about you.
Well, I don't mean too much coming from him.
Said that you were a great man. It's he's gonna kind of scratch his arms a little bit. It's really a shame to know that you're a piece of shit liar.
John, you have a shotgun. Maybe you should kill this guy.
Is that the way we're going with this?
Well, okay, so let's think about this logically real quick.
Instead of thinking logically, I'm just going to try and shoot him with a crossbow bolt.
Okay, so you go to shoot him, and he's just going to sink down into his shadow there.
I shoot the shadow.
And you're going to see the thistles start to part away. And to cut back in, how would you like to salvage this for the cameras?
Patton saw a snake and he shot at it.
Maybe you could use some of the some of his voice lines. Here, I'll give you a freebie for faking the voices and everything. As we'll cut back in, I'll just here. This is a freebie for you. All right, so this isn't on record anymore then?
No, it shouldn't be.
All right. This will actually be very good for the listeners themselves not getting to see what happens to him. If you just go cut the tape and then we move forward. I like it. That's a nice dramatic way.
And we can cut the episode there too, because it's about an hour long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna see John running towards us, and I'm just gonna start interrogating him.
You bastards.
I've been called worse. But what do I call you?
I'm just gonna squeeze tighter and tighter.
Abaddon.
You're full of shit. I know what Abaddon looks like, and you're not him. Like, you said this was not someone we met before, right?
What? No, yeah, that is the guy who stabbed your throat. Like, he stabbed you in the fucking back. This is the same guy.
Oh, okay, it is Abaddon. Never mind. Okay. Nice knife, Abaddon.
Yeah, I bet you know.
Yeah. Time for you to know. I'm just gonna stab him right in the chest. How does it feel?
Yeah, think we've had enough monologuing.
Felt worse.
I like
So
you.
are you guys getting up to them now? Because I think Jerron's going full psychopath.
As close as we can, I guess. I'm gonna leave whether or not to kill him up to John, but I feel like John's probably gonna kill him.
I mean, I think
we should kill him.
So this is what you're doing, huh, John? This is what you're doing?
I got a question for you. What the hell are you trying to do?
The will of the Lord.
That's kind of my thing.
Really?
I'll ask you again. The hell are you trying to do?
I don't think I have anything more to say to you. All you've got here, you've got a fucking demon, whatever that thing is,
Patting a wave
and
at him.
you, a lying, spineless piece of shit.
He doesn't seem very cooperative, John. Should we change that? Because I don't really think we should kill him yet. He might be useful.
I'm very angry. I can't do angry John, but John's angry, for the record.
I'm gonna toss John his gun back.
I mean, I have my shotgun already.
No, I mean the revolver, though.
Okay.
Now, you see, John, I don't think physical pain's going to get to him.
What do you suggest?
I'm a dead man walking already. I should have been dead a long time ago. Death doesn't scare me.
Oh, exactly. But you know what I think does scare you? Being forced into a warlock pact, which you have no way out of.
Good luck, idiot.
Yeah, Jerry, I don't think this is the best time for this. John, I think you need to make the decision here.
Well, I mean, there ain't really much to decide. We let him go, this whole plan's blown.
Well, all right then.
This what it comes to, huh, John? Oh, I thought our methods were too brutal for you, huh?
Shit, John, just do it already.
Guess that was a lie. What else was a lie?
I assume Jerry was going to stab him again, but I mean, okay.
I'm just going to start pulling it down his chest.
I mean, you could just kill him. Can we kill him,
yeah,
please?
Okay.
Just cap him.
So,
Jeez, people are letting him monologue forever.
I kind of felt like that was Jerry's thing. But I mean, I guess not.
Jerry's a psychopath. Don't let him have a knife and a dude to torment.
I know that now.
No, I'm not talking about that plan. I'm talking about... Zep, cut it.
Well, no, remember? He just showed up and was like, oh, okay. Because we were like talking to each other about the plan. He's like, oh.
Yeah, dude, he crashed the party. He didn't...
do this. You can do this in character, even in the...
It is in character.
Yeah, I was talking to Michael.
Jerry, you realize he crashed the party. He wasn't... There's nothing to indicate he was tipped off.
Well, how did Rakana know?
Rakana know about what?
Rakana heavily, and I mean very heavily, implied she knew about this.
She's a smart cookie.
I don't think
okay.
she...
So someone divined our secret plan just by being a smart cookie, John?
Well, Jerry, I mean, you do realize that it takes time and effort to set up these, sort of sets and things. We spend time doing this, even as secret as we are. The primary concern is keeping this secret from Michael, who is reclusive to begin with. So, Rakana figuring out something is far less important than Abaddon crashing the party. He didn't seem to make any indication that he had been tipped off or came purposefully other than to try to kill us.
Wait.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on here.
Hey, doctor,
Yeah.
can you run that back by me one more time?
Which part?
The thing you just said.
Try to kill us?
I don't think he did.
Oh, I would assume that would have. Well, I mean, barring being able to try to kill us.
No. Like, look at the footage, man.
He
You
did
see
show
that?
up and then immediately. I mean, was he by himself then?
Well, I mean, try to kill us in a roundabout sort of way. Not immediately, but telling Michael would certainly lead to our deaths far more quickly.
But why didn't he
Actually,
teleport?
Hey, hold that thought. Can we go back to go back to the regular? That's really good material.
Yeah. Just throw it back on. But yeah, why didn't he teleport? If they can all do it, why would he run like that?
Have we ever seen him teleport without Michael?
Are we even sure he's gonna follow us to the last spot? He might try and just raid New York. Isn't that a possibility?
No, I don't think it is.
No.
I don't think he's got the firepower to try. There's a lot of very powerful people in New York. Even if you're able to teleport, that I'm pretty sure. I mean, the Mages Guild is there. There's a lot of people in New York. If he's going to actually try physically to go there to try to do something,
No, that's the problem.
ooh, that's not going to happen. But
From what we've seen, right? From what we've seen, and what's the name? Alonzo could probably tell you the same thing, but with the elves and all of that nonsense. The way that John's stuff works and the way that our stuff works, me and the boss here, it's pretty close, right? Right? Like, didn't you say that, Doc?
Fairly similar along certain lines.
We lost a lot of mana. That's only among people who were already listeners for us. That doesn't take into account people who weren't listening before.
no publicity is bad publicity, right, Jerron?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it doesn't. Hold on now.
I think we gotta.
No. Didn't we establish how my pact works is how interesting my shit is?
The amount of people who are watching.
Amount of people that
The
are
amount
watching.
of people who are watching, and also when people think the big thing, that it wasn't necessarily just people who are watching, it was people who are watching, find your show interesting, and most importantly, find that you are telling the truth.
Okay, so leading up to
Meaning,
this,
the fact that you didn't put out this information and Michael beat you to the punch means that your viewers are going to feel betrayed. Like you're hiding shit from them. Because you explicitly did state that you didn't want to air this.
Yep. All right, but I thought we were like losing mana because of the morality issue.
No.
Okay.
It was because people have... It would be that after Michael's transmission, after Michael's broadcast, people would begin to not trust your broadcast.
Well, what we need to do here is make a broadcast with John and highlight him as like the actual chosen one, and try and frame Michael as the Antichrist.
I think he's doing a pretty good job of that already.
Yeah, but people don't know that. The whole point is it's like a deceiver kind of thing. Right? So if he calls out and starts calling us liars, all we have to do is be like John just has to take the reins and start calling him out as a false prophet, essentially.
Shouldn't we save all this for the lead up to catching him?
I mean, that's where we're at.
Yeah, we there's one more.
The last artifact coincides with our plan to catch him.
Oh, all right then.
Right, the last artifact is, if you're following along, it would be very reasonable for you to be able to make the guess that the final artifact is the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
I thought there was an artifact in the Ark of the Covenant. My bad.
Yeah, you could actually stage this as like you could do a call out of, meet us and like we'll see who makes it to the Ark of the Covenant.
For some reason I thought that there was an artifact in the Ark. And I thought that's pretty much what I thought we would be doing. So, yes. We're on the same page, I'm just dumb.
The only thing that you guys don't have for your big ol' thing is a very, very strong mana crystal. That's the only item that you don't have.
And there were 2 locations where we could have gotten that. One of them was on the West Coast with those elves, and the other one was on the East Coast in New York with...
So you're probably going to have to just go for the West Coast one if you want to make any sort of decent time, since you already set the stage for the final showdown being West Coast.
Yeah, so just to make sure, so we've got all the robotics parts we need. We've got the automation system, the outer casing, the wiring. The stasis manipulator is Jerron.
Yeah, the robotics and everything is basically why you have Dr. Robo with you.
So now we need...
she's been your consultant on the whole thing.
So we've got the hazmat protection to keep our mana in and foreign mana out.
Yep.
And then...
you've got the mana repellent material in the Wyvern hide.
Correct.
Yep.
So literally all you need is the crystal.
Yeah.
The mana repellent material for the hazmat and that is Wyvern, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The Wyvern hide we have plenty of.
The hazmat is the suits that you got from Rakana.
And the Wyvern hide is just extra mana repellent and mana dampening, essentially.
The Wyvern hide is to make the area mana retaining.
Yeah.
Like, to make the stage that you build mana retaining, so that when you drain the area of mana, it doesn't fill back up.
Yeah, and we can, like, basically sew it together in big sheets so that it can cover a large area.
Yeah. However, in your research using your car, right? Like, the sealant on that vehicle is not perfect because it really kind of can't. So you've had to have, Specky or whatever you're doing suck the mana out of the car when it gets to be too much or whenever you open the door to get in and out. But Specky alone isn't really fast enough to fully drain the place. You would either like to do it quickly. So if you wanted to do a dead zone for the Ark,
the dust, right?
Yeah, you're gonna need to use either some of that dust, which is, a big deal. You're gonna need to use, you're gonna need to have some form of mechanism set up to launch that into the air, or you're going to want to have Specky, pre-drain the entire area. You're probably going to want to do a mixture of both. Pre-drain the entire area and have something set up to probably just have the mechanism in the Ark itself blast him with the dust.
Yeah,
that's
what I thought the plan was. It was going to blast him with the dust, and then
It was, at first it was Specky spores, but that wasn't actually quite good enough. I
was going to do both so that the dust is instant and the spores are over time.
Right. The plan was made before you had the anti-magic dust.
Where did we get that dust, and what did we decide?
Wyvern bone powder.
That's right.
Wyvern bone powder is incredibly highly mana retaining, and as a result, when ground down into a powdered form, it basically takes on, it's basically anti-magic powder. It disenchants shit due to how just how powerfully magical a wyvern is. If you think of how blood or how bone marrow works and all that.
Well, I mean, you don't have to get that complicated. It's osmosis.
Yeah. But that was why I thought that wyvern bone powder would do that specifically.
Right. So now we just need to get a crystal, but the important thing here is that we need to broadcast and put Michael on a clock. So John needs to have some lines, and John needs to and Jerry needs to rig up some effects showing hey, we know where the Ark is.
Yeah, and the crystal thing is probably with the West Coast elves, which is why you have Alonzo with you, basically.
How close are we to the West Coast now? I think we're pretty close.
Fairly close.
We're the foot of the Rockies now, right?
Let me see exactly where you nerds are right now.
I know that we're a little bit less to the Ogallala Aquifer.
Yeah, we can cut back in at this point.
I want to roll it once cut here, obviously. Once on the record, once off the record.
Perception 2, the sequel.
That statement sounds to me like Red might know that we're doing this whole artifact thing, right? Does he know? It's been forever.
You've never told him.
Yeah, we've never told him. That's right. We've never told him about this artifact fuckery. I want to know if he knows, because if he doesn't know and he honestly believes that we've found some sort of like bullshit, there might be consequences from Red afterwards. Because I'm sure Red doesn't want John to be, or the congregation to be, some gigantic, like, big player.
I'm pretty sure that you haven't ever explicitly told him, but it's been alluded to.
Well, when he came after the Mind Flayers, he seemed to still favor the Colorado deal over Michael at that time. And that was after we had started the artifact hunt.
But the thing is that we don't know if he knows if the artifacts are real or not.
Right.
But
Okay,
and his statement there makes it seem like maybe he does know that we're fucking with him. Because, I mean, we kind of are. I'll roll insight. That is a 20.
So, on a 20, yeah, it's pretty clear that he knows that the whole artifact thing isn't necessarily real.
Okay.
Like, I had assumed, and I was pretty sure that this had been discussed at least once, that he would have been able to see through that immediately. Like, Rakano saw through it immediately, so it would almost be insulting to him to say that, like, by the way, this isn't real.
Yeah, that's
right?
true, but the thing is that shit has changed now that Michael has artifacts of his own.
Right. That's the part that that seems to have him on edge, from what you can tell, is his understanding would have been, this is all fake, we're specifically de-arming him by giving him bullshit, and yet it's becoming real.
Yes. So here is here. Okay, cut back in. Here's the insight.
Yeah.
That I want to roll here.
Insight
is like that statement that he just made. Like, what did he say again? Like,
he said something along the lines of, it seems to me like he's only gotten this strong since you guys have been doing this.
Yeah. I want to...
Like, he's only started to be a real problem since he put you on the job.
Right. I want to see if that's like a couched threat. Like, against John, because... Against John and us, because, like, you know, say everything goes well and we get the last artifact, the Ark and all that, and we defeat Michael. I don't think that, even if Red's on our side now, like... If we defeat Michael and suddenly the congregation has this big boon, basically, he might end up turning on us at the end to take us both out, Michael and John and the congregation at the end.
I thought once I do the whole "don't believe everything you see on TV," the whole deal, like,
what I mean is that at the end, if and when we defeat Michael, depending on how we do it and how it makes everything look at the end, you know, Red might be setting up something to take us all out because this whole thing is becoming way too much of a pain. That's what I want to roll insight on. Is like, is this a threat? That's it's a 20. Not nat, but total.
Nat total. You can definitely get from that, you get the undercurrent that he had already been through this with you once before.
Mm-hmm.
After the whole Uriel thing, when you started talking about what Lazarus had told you.
Yeah.
Where he had said that was pure nonsense.
Yeah.
It seems like he is very, very on edge now that things are being given more legitimacy.
Right, so maybe that previous statement...
As a result of the artifacts actually working and existing and all of that.
Does he have a mana crystal by chance?
Shut up, Jerry. But that's a good question. I'm not going to ask him for anything. I feel like that's a bad idea.
Might be pertinent. Because, I mean, like, if he is, like, so nervous about this that he can't fight Michael, he would probably want to send us the very thing we need to kill him, right? And we would probably want to...
We need to cut this bit.
Yeah, of course.
So are you going to ask him, are you going to give him more, like, details on the plan?
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt at this point unless he's going to betray us, but, you know.
Yeah.
And we know that
so,
yeah, we're safe right now. We don't have anyone spying in on us, so.
So, Crystal, you're going to tell him about that?
Yeah, basically that's the last piece that we need. And,
I can't get you the one from New York.
Well,
I can't get it to you. I'll explain so it doesn't seem like I'm being unreasonable.
Well, it seemed to me like it was in your best... That if it was in your best interest...
It is a linchpin for the very fabric that is holding New York's mana field together. If I were to give that to you, something of that magnitude and that power, the amount of mana available in case of emergency, which it is looking like we are going to have, would be far below what is acceptable. If I send that to you, I would not be simply betting my own life on it. I would be betting the lives of many, many others that may be saved if they have that in their possession. You'll need to find one somewhere else. I'm simply not willing to endanger that many people.
Perfectly reasonable. We believe we have a lead on such a crystal with the Western.
Yes, it is a sacred heirloom. It's not going to be easy to get it from them, but you'll have to manage. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's shouldn't be a large problem, and it will give us some time to make other preparations. The plan on the whole, I believe, however, stands quite well.
Right. So
we got to cut here.
Yeah.
Because this is a trick, but I don't know if I'll be able to fool her. I think I'll be able to fool her. Because obviously Specky is in backpack mode.
Sure.
Specky is the gift of fire thing, so I'm gonna use that artifact, quote unquote, and have Specky make basically like a flaming cross blast, like a in flames right in front of her eyes.
Okay.
So cut back into me describing that.
Okay.
Be careful. I think that whenever you get into your big confrontation, they're going to pick off the winner when they're weakened.
Zep, cut the tape. It's already cut, but you know what I mean? Out of character, that's for Tad. So you're saying that they might have a trap planned on top of our trap.
I think that they're opportunists.
Do they know what we're up to?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Cut here, but we're not going to be able to get the crystal thing.
Oh no, you still can. Technically.
I mean, Michael's about to be like, "Hey, yo, fuck you guys."
I mean, that's why I was saying that Jerron has some sort of ability to influence things.
He could pocket sand us.
Yeah, maybe at the last minute, ditch you guys out to somewhere else.
Yeah, you should probably do that. Also, okay, cut back in.
Pocket sand. Sha. Yeah.
You guys sure it was all right if we left Casey and the boys back there? It seemed like things were getting kind of scary.
I mean, we didn't really have a choice at this point.
Yeah, they agreed to run distraction, and it's not like we're forcing him to do it.
I guess things are getting kind of desperate.
All right, cut.
Desperate?
Cut.
Oh, what?
Your turn. Desperate.
This is pre-recorded. this whole thing of you guys going through the cave is happening before you knew that Michael was going to show
yeah,
up
I guess so.
with all of this exact stuff. You can't make
That's
any
true.
references to the things that just happened.
that
My
shit was in
apologies.
real time.
Yes.
Yeah, the stuff was.
The second you walk into the door, we go back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
right,
didn't think
right.
about it. My apologies.
No, it's all good.
All right.
So you'd be like, man, I sure hope it's not too crazy up there, and make very vague references.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like things that your characters would reasonably be able to guess, right?
Okay, I
But
can do
also
that one over.
Maybe pepper in like a detail that's wrong. So here, let me just like.
Hey John, I read a little bit of Revelations on our way here. You saw me doing that, but I have no fucking clue what these seals are all about. Could you just help us out with the first one, and maybe we'll get rolling from there?